Bugs. What is up, skate rats? So, I am currently walking through the woods. This is day one of putting together a very small DIY concrete obstacle at the abandoned buildings that I skate. So, very quick backstory. I'm kind of tired of talking about my past in certain videos, but I have been a part of 3 different DIY builds up here, and each one has gotten smashed, destroyed, burned in some way, shape, or form. Now, in truth, it's never really cost me a ton of money over the years. In the past 16 years, I've probably put a couple $100 in, but I've put in hundreds of hours, and it left a sour taste in my mouth, especially the last time everything got destroyed. So, the one thing though that I do know is that concrete obstacles do kind of last up here. With the exception of the first park, where most of the obstacles got smashed by the cops, the 2 current quarter pipes up here have been up here for nearly 20 years. One is about 19 years, and the other one is about 4 years. And they go relatively untouched outside of graffiti. So there is this area of the buildings that most people don't mess with. And I think the reason is because you sort of technically have to leave the building to get to it. It's just not like you can't walk room to room to get to it. So I think that's why it remains relatively untouched. I never see much debris over there, or nobody really ever sits out there to start a fire. So I'm heading out there now. Today is all about prep work because I want to be able to come here on the weekend and just get everything done all in one shot, concrete wise, because as a blue collar worker myself, I pretty much can do every blue collar job. I've gone out of my way to learn at least the basics of every single one. But, God, the bugs are so bad right now. But concrete, I have the least experience and I'm the worst at. So this is going to be a small enough project where if I mess it up, I'm not super bummed. But I think could give me the confidence to maybe do bigger things in the future. So we're gonna head out there. I'm gonna explain kind of some of the prep work and the idea I have, which if you've already seen the thumbnail and the title, well, you kind of already know. But I'm gonna start swatting bugs. So like right here is the main quarter pipe. This is what I mean by you need to technically leave the building. If we look over here and we see this big hole in the wall, if you were to walk around there, you end up in this area over here. And outside of graffiti, there isn't really anything smashed over here. Don't get me wrong, there is an obscene amount of dirt and leaves and stuff that's kind of just blown up, but nothing super crazy. So this is kind of like the idea I'm toying with right now, is this wall right here is one of the best, clearest walls around this building. So I kind of always thought having a wall ride here would be cool, especially because I do wall rides now. And I think it's going to be like the least amount of concrete for kind of a cool project. I need to take a template of this and kind of decide what I want, because I want it to be incredibly steep. I don't want it to be too much of a cheater wall ride. I'd like it to fall in between, you know, being a cheater wall ride and still being kind of valid. So I have a poster board and a tape measure. I'm gonna make a template and I'm gonna kind of just eyeball it to a point where I'm satisfied. Then I have to gather up a bunch of bricks. Cut out my template that I will take home and actually transfer to pieces of wood. So I gathered up enough bricks over here for 6 across. I really like the look of that. I think that's plenty of space to be able to get on and off the wall on the same curb, pretty much. But there's also like a little bit more varieties. Of course, you can pop off the wall and try to get over the baseboard there. I did pick up a couple other bricks and stash them a little bit over there because even though it's only 3 days away, something tells me this is probably going to get monkeyed with. Now, I don't know the exact position. This is kind of just for a reference and a visual because I do need to sweep out a bunch of this and figure out kind of the best roll-up, which truthfully might just be lined up like in a straight line where you come from the woods and come in. I don't suspect this to be the best obstacle, but it's kind of a test run for me. So now I need to go gather all the materials that I will need to do this and then I can finally cut out the templates. Now, something you wouldn't know, unless you obviously live in my hometown, is you always see me walk through the woods on my way here. You don't technically really have to do that. So back here is abandoned. It's been abandoned since the 50s, but it's still kind of considered trespassing by the police. I don't believe the cops care too much anymore, as much as when I was a kid, but from where I'm standing now, if we walk the opposite direction of where I came in, you actually get to a road within like 100 feet, but the road is an industrial, like complex type road where there's just industrial businesses on it, meaning that there really isn't any parking, so that's why I park on the other side. But when it comes to the idea of getting supplies into here, pulling up and being able to dump really quickly is going to be beneficial. So I'm going to walk the other direction, and I have some paracord on me. I'm going to do my best to see if I can mark a tree so I'm not parked there for too long. I can kind of just pull up, dump my stuff, and drive around the town to get to the other side of this property thing. So I'm about 150 feet from the building. That's an outbuilding, so beyond that. And right here is the road. So I gotta see the best place to try to mark off. You used to be able to pull up all right here so you could at least get to the tree line, but I don't think that's gonna work. So right on that steel pole, you can see the pink there. So there's my high vis. Probably gonna have to pull up in kind of ish of a dangerous spot and just try to dump as much materials as I can in these weeds. And then I'll drive obviously around the whole place. Where are we going? So it's finally concreting day, and I'm stoked to be here. Oh. Now, I took a gamble a little bit, and I'm so happy it paid off. Today, it's supposed to rain. Now, this still has a really solid roof over it, so I'm not super concerned with it raining while I'm here, but I really didn't want to carry bags of concrete, which if you've never played with bags of concrete, you might not know this, but they sit in a paper bag, and I really didn't want to try to carry them and it start raining. So I took a gamble last night and I brought all the concrete up here, off camera of course, because I wanted to do it as quick as possible, and I'm so stoked that nobody messed with it, which is such a rarity. But I've stashed building supplies up here before for other projects in the past, so I kind of know what I'm doing. And if you guys don't believe me, did you know the concrete was on camera the whole time right now? Probably not. But thankfully nobody messed with it. First thing on the list is I don't have to sweep the whole place here, but I need to sweep out a bunch of it, because I need to know what area is going to have the best roll up, which I'm kind of thinking it is this one right here. I think with the very short amount of space, without having to run in, you'll be able to get onto the wall. But I think if you wanted to blast up the wall, even more than a few inches, we'll say like a foot or 2 feet on divert, you would probably kind of have to run in a little bit. So I just kind of want to check these concrete pads and see what one is going to help the best. So, sweep it. So this corner all right here is buckled up, and I'm thinking that's a really good corner for this, because to the right of it, it's pretty smooth, and past that, it's pretty smooth, at least enough for a roll away. So I think I'm going to go right against that. So if you were goofy hitting it backside or regular hitting it front side, you'll still have a place, because you're going to go over it, you know, to kind of roll away. Now, I don't plan on cleaning up a bunch, and who knows? This project may be a failure on the actual skate aspect of it. This is a huge learning process, huge teaching process for me. So we're going to kind of dive into this. I'm going to start by arranging these bricks. I want to do a 4-foot section. If I have some left, I have an idea, but I'm not going to bank on having concrete left. So I'm going to line that up, take a measurement, see if my sides actually fit, and we can get started. For this, I'm using fast setting concrete. I know it's not as strong as like a high strength concrete, but I need something that can set. This is supposed to set within 20 to 40 minutes. So I want anything I do today to be dry before I leave to have the best chance of not getting destroyed. I also have a bunch of 2 liters of water with me. I picked up like a medium-ish short shovel just because I knew I wouldn't have enough hands to carry out a full-size shovel by myself. So I figured that was the next best thing to not take forever. The few concrete projects I have done, I usually just use something like this, but I'm hoping this makes it a little bit faster, even though this shouldn't take that long. Famous last words. And I have a finishing trowel, finishing sponge, so we're just gonna dive into this and get started because that's the only way I'm gonna learn. This is as good as I'm gonna get it. Now this is completely skatable. I've skated way worse, but I really do want to go get something like a thin set to try to smooth this out a bit. And I'm gonna do that in probably an hour. But in the meantime, I'm probably just gonna cut the camera so I can get done fast because now I have to run to Lowe's, which adds way more time than I want. I'm gonna add another little section. Now this baseboard actually goes up as it comes down the wall, so I can't go too far away, but I just think it would be a little fun to have a little bit of a gap, something to work up to, even though it's nothing crazy because I just really don't have the space to make anything crazy. But I still have over 2 bags of concrete left, so I'm just going to get that down really quickly, clean everything up, and run to Lowe's. I got the second one done. It is a little smoother, but you can still see it's very porous. One of the biggest issues I've been having here is just that really steep angle, kind of getting it up. So I think I found the product that I want to go get. I need to go stop at my house first and get water. This is mostly dry to the touch, so I'm also kind of confident no one's going to come out here and mess with it with the chance of rain, because you kind of don't want to be caught in the woods in a downpour. But I'm cool with it, so I'm going to run off and go get that taken care of. For you guys, it's been like a second, and for me, it's been an hour, but I'm finally back. I got this fast set thin, what is it called, Cementol, and apparently it's supposed to go from a feather edge, so super thin, to 4 inches if needed, which I think is perfect to kind of fill in this whole porosity in that. Now this, since it's been an hour, should definitely be dry enough for me to broom away all the loose stuff and get laying this down. I have 20 pounds of it, so I'm going to focus on this area first, and then if I have enough, this one came in a lot smoother, but I could touch it up as well. So let's do that. The surface is looking dramatically better. Is it perfect? No. Will I have to repair it? Probably. Will it last 20 years? Doubtfully. But it was a learning process. What I learned is pouring it on was definitely the best method for me. And then allowing it some time to set up just a little bit enough for the sponge to actually allow me to feather edge most of the stuff in. And it works. Now, I didn't care too much about the top here, because in truth, it's a wall ride, so you should be kind of clearing that. The only time you really ever hit the top is if you don't come off the wall correctly and your board comes down sideways. But I have no issue in a few months or a year coming back with Bondo, something I'm more comfortable with, and maybe cleaning up the bottoms and the top. I do have 1 bag of concrete left. I want to fill in the sides of this where the brick is exposed, and there's a hole at the other quarter pipe I want to fill in. I'm going to do it off camera because the rain is starting to get worse, and then we're going to finish out this video. So very quickly, let's recap so I can get out of here because it's already raining pretty hard. Got these done, and I still had a bag of concrete left, so if we come around, try to dodge some of this rain. I came over to here, which is where the main quarter pipe I skate is, and I filled in this hole, this hole, this hole, and had enough left to sort of extend the roll up a little bit. Now, is it perfect? No, but when I'm talking holes, I mean stuff like this. I've skated this for so many years, I've repaired this for so many years, and even there's a trick in my video part where I legitimately roll through this hole, but
I had the concrete here, so now you have a fighting chance. Maybe if I'm feeling froggy, I will try to resurface this again, or at least at the bottom, because right now the only way to get up it is with my Bondo. In that cement all really worked well for something like that particular thing, but that's a future project. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. I want to be very, very, very clear. I am a novice when it comes to concrete work. As I said, I've done it many times. I've set posts a bunch, things that don't need to look really nice. So to me, this was all about a learning experience. Now, if you're curious, I spent $70 on tools and things like that, and I didn't even buy all the tools you could use. And I actually bought extra concrete, kind of knowing that I would have enough to do those holes. So in truth, to do this specifically, probably 50 bucks, but that's using obviously a pre-existing wall that happens to have like a concrete baseboard on it. And once again, will it last forever? No. Do I hope I can at least get one wall right on it before it gets destroyed? Because I still have a couple of weeks before my ankle is fully healed. Fingers crossed at least. Because in truth, walking in and out of the woods, my ankle's kind of sore. But I'm going to go clean up all this garbage, go home and take a shower. I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and if my ankle continues to bother me, then I will do more videos like this, because I still want to get out and I still want to do stuff, get exercise and have fun. And if I can't skate, building is the next best thing. I hope you guys did enjoy the video, and as always, thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. Have a great day and keep pushing forward, guys.